Mic check, 1 2 1 2. There's Rocksteady, KOTP TV, signing in. Pretty tired. Work tomorrow. I'm not excited for it. The weekend is here and I'm not spending it like I should be. But with that being said, I did listen to some good music. My apologies, a bit gassy. I had a couple of IPAs. I'm feeling buzzed. Bit morbid. I gotta get up early tomorrow, people. Come on. But with that being said, once again, we listened to Exodus. Yeah? It was recommended on the Patreon by my good friend Lance, who puts me on some great metal records. Shovel-Headed Kill Machine. I have no idea when this was put out. Maybe 2005, near about that time. Great record. So I'm just going to jump in by telling you that. Great record. I thought the sound was awesome. It was different, you know. A lot of these thrash metal acts, it's just thrash, you know. But with this record, the riffs were unique, not in a sense that they were outside of conventional norm, and I felt they were a bit odd. But they had a bit of character to them. I don't know how the guitarist came up with this style of riffing, and it wasn't like it's so odd and different that it was like some jazz guitarist playing them. They were just thrash metal riffs played in a different fashion, and I really appreciated that. Of course, we got a lot of different ideas that were like just thrash riffs, but when they came into the mix, it only accentuated the fantastic guitar tone and the heaviness of the sound production on this record. This can't be an E standard record. These guitars have to be tuned to at least D standard, I would say. At least D standard. C sharp standard at a stretch? That would blow my head if that was the case, but it's a very heavy record. The distortion on the guitars are fluffy and soft and really the way I like it, as opposed to like the more dry, traditional 80s style of, you know, grittiness. I think great metal musicians and great thrash bands sound better with a higher polished production, you know. I want to hear my hardcore bands with crap production. I don't want to hear my metal bands with crap production. With that being said, you can take it too far in the wrong direction with these legacy bands that have been going for yonks, and they get into the 2000s and the technology of the production is like 100,000 fold, and you can have problems there. But this was a really good sounding record. It was heavy, consistent. 10 tracks on the record. 10 tracks was too many. I'd take it to 8 personally. The second half of the record was not as good as the first, although there was an epic, ignorant, primitive caveman breakdown in the last track, which was the title track, Shovel-Headed Kill Machine, which really made it all make sense. Leveled out that last half. The last half wasn't bad, but the first, you know what I mean, it was such a consistent record, respectfully, that you don't want to hear 10 tracks of the same consistency. Just call it 8, man. I think 8 is the magic number when it comes to these metal bands, honestly. I think any record so far, I've been most pleased with 8 tracks on a record. I think, and I've lifted that myself personally. I think 8 tracks is the right way to do it. Guitar work was great. Drumming was great. This wasn't produced by a drummer because the drums were actually quite lacking in audacity on the record in comparison to the guitars. This was a guitarist's record. This was a riff-heavy record. We're staying, the higher end of mid-tempo throughout the entirety of it, more or less. I mean, we'll kick into fast bits, but we won't really delve into that slow bit until the last song, and all the way through we're just going to be chugging along, and it's good. If you like them riffs, which I do, I love mid-tempo riffs, then this is a great record. Vocally, it's not my cup of tea as far as the vocalist is concerned, but I wasn't turned off. Took me one track to get used to the vocalist, and then I'm laughing, but nothing to be remembered. I only just listened to this record and I can't tell you how his vocal performance was. Like, I can't reenact it because it just didn't make a difference to me. This was a guitarist record. As far as a bass line is concerned, we had a few decent bass line bits, but once the instrumental was in, we couldn't hear the bass line. The bass line wasn't important other than playing the bass frequency. With that being said, I'll rate this record a a 7 out of 10. I'll give it a healthy 7 out of 10 because it was a good record. It was a good record. Is it a standout record? Depends what you're into. But it's definitely better. You know what? I would say this might be blasphemous to some of you. I don't know too much early Exodus stuff. I know a couple of their like hit records, but I would argue that to me, this sound would sort of surpass the 80s Exodus for me. Because I just like the modern riffing, man. I like the modern riffing. I don't want to hear no budget production, no gritty, awkward production on a, just another thrash band. And I know it's not just another thrash band, but you know where I'm coming from. When you hear so many thrash acts, you need to stray out, man. And with that being said, I'm signing out. Peace.